Hey, what is up, Internet? I'm Christiane Cordero, and this is the 734 from WCCO. We know most of you are on your way to work, maybe about to head out the door, but why even bother? Because it's pretty gross outside. We're seeing wet and windy start to the day. That I can say firsthand as I was out there in all of this morning. It's still a little bit dark out there in downtown Minneapolis. You can see the rain kind of covering that camera there. Wind advisories in effect until in the metro area until 6 o'clock tonight. And here is proof. I can tell you about it, but I can also show you about it. This is what Katie Steiner had to deal with this morning on the rooftop. During the show, that umbrella stood no chance whatsoever, but she's such a trooper, just kind of kept on going through her live shot, and that's why we put her up there, was just to demonstrate how, I don't know why she's still holding on to it. That in itself, I think is just a little bit much, Katie, but that's all right. Yeah, she hung in there. All right, let's give you a little bit more of an accurate, I guess, precise forecast, maybe is what we should call it. This morning, raining, as I told you, low 40s. We're going to hang out in the low 40s for the rest of the day. And then Katie said that the winds will continue to pick up throughout the day. By your evening commute, up to 45 miles per hour wind gusts. It's just an day is what she said. That is a meteorological term, I believe. Okay, now let's talk about this. Time to talk about food trends for 2020. People who work, I should say, at Whole Foods Market came up with a list. Are any of these things in your cart? They say foods from West Africa will be really big next year. Tomatoes, onions, chili peppers form a base for many of the dishes in that region. There's also a list of ancient grains like moringa and tamarind. The Whole Foods staff says that we'll see more nut and seed butters like chickpea butter, macadamia nut butter, watermelon seed butter, pumpkin seed butter year-round. Are you sick of all the butters? Are you super excited to try all the different ones? Many brands want to eliminate palm oil, by the way, because it causes deforestation. Whole Foods also says it may be time to rethink the kids menu. Would you give your kids sushi? For what it's worth, I grew up on sushi. What about non-breaded salmon fish sticks or organic chicken nuggets or fermented foods like kimchi? I'm guessing this is going to vary from person to person. Their whole shtick here is that, well, other than that these all cost a lot of money and it's Whole Foods, is that millennials are now raising a bunch of foodies. So we want to know, what do you think? Those watching on Facebook, leave a comment right here. We'll get through a few of those in a moment. Okay, in the news today, Governor Tim Walz is hosting a roundtable on youth vaping this morning. It's taking place at Hopkins High School, and it's part of a 3-day listening tour. The Minnesota Department of Health says 3 deaths have been linked to vaping statewide. Governor Walz wants to combat e-cigarette use among teenagers with an awareness campaign at the legislature. A ceasefire between Kurdish forces in Syria and Turkey ends later today. Turkey's president is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin this morning. The Russians have emerged as the top player in the area now that the U.S. has started reducing the number of troops in Syria. And the Pentagon says a small number of soldiers will stay in Syria, while those leaving have been moving to Iraq. Today, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine is set to testify behind closed doors in the impeachment inquiry. President Donald Trump says Republicans need to get tougher in the face of the Democrat-led House probe. The president's comments came after Utah's Senator Mitt Romney became the first Republican senator to say he might support impeaching the president. TBD. Mitt Romney, though, is also making headlines for a very unusual confession. The senator admitted to having a secret Twitter account that he sometimes uses to defend himself against mean tweets. Really interesting stuff here. Romney called it his lurker account during an interview with The Atlantic. Afterwards, a reporter discovered an account called Pierre Delecto that follows all of Romney's children. Romney admitted that was in fact him. The account is now private. That guy maybe has a job with the Secret Service, maybe not. Does Romney have a fake Finsta, too? That we do not know, cannot confirm nor deny. We learned this morning, though, that former President Jimmy Carter has been hospitalized after a fall that happened in his home in Plains, Georgia. The Carter Center says the 95-year-old suffered a minor pelvic fracture yesterday. He said to be in good spirits. Carter's already fell once at his home earlier this month, leaving him with 14 stitches and a bruise around his left eye. Justin Trudeau appears to have won another term as Canada's Prime Minister. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation projects that Trudeau's Liberal Party won enough seats in last night's election to form a minority government. Right now in California, strong winds and high temperatures are fueling several dangerous wildfires. The Little Mountain Fire damaged several homes in the Los Angeles area last night. The state's largest utility, Pacific Gas and Electric, is warning the dangerous fire weather could prompt more blackouts. PG&E says it could shut off power again to about 500,000 people. It is the sports moment from the Gopher football game that has everyone talking. Now we're learning just how special this moment was on the sidelines. That's Gopher football player. I'm going to show you in just a moment. Casey O'Brien, his first collegiate game after beating cancer 4 times. There's Casey right there. This emotional hug was just after head coach PJ Fleck called on Casey to help for the extra point.
And he did. And it was flawless, and the guys all mobbed him and everything. And then he went over to Coach Fleck, and that's when the tears were like, you kind of realize what he's been through.
Yeah, we all did, right? He's certainly been through a whole lot, including a battle with a rare form of bone cancer. He's had 14 surgeries since 2013, but still made it to the collegiate level as a backup for the Minnesota Gophers. Casey's cancer has been in remission for more than a year, but his grandpa let us in on a secret that he still goes back to the pediatric unit to visit patients. What a guy. The Big Ten Conference also named Casey the Special Teams Player of the Week. The World Series opens tonight, and if Las Vegas is right, this won't be much of a series at all. Houston hosts Washington in Game 1. The Astros are the biggest favorite to win since the 2007 Red Sox, which swept Colorado in 4 games. We'll see. Still got to play him, right? Lizzo, she can't stop, won't stop on the charts. Her smash hit Truth Hurts has spent a 7th week atop the Billboard Hot 100. That ties Iggy Azalea's fancy for the longest rule ever for a rap song by a female artist. The song dropped to number 2 a week ago, but has reclaimed its throne at the top of the week this week. Tickets for the new Star Wars movie are on sale this morning, and some showings are selling really fast. All of this after the final trailer was released last night. Take a look.
We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
People keep telling me they know me. No one does.
But I do.
The score and the cinematography, it is all clearly an intense build-up to a final battle in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. The movie opens December 20th. Atom Ticket says it has sold more tickets in its first hour than any movie in its 7-year history. Okay, back to today's talker. Let's bring in WCCO's digital guy, Cole. Cole, what are people saying about what they have in the grocery cart? Are there any people who have sorghum flour?
Not that exactly.
Okay.
We have Walker saying, I just tried a thing called plant butter. It's really good. I kind of like it more than other butter.
Ooh.
Might switch to that.
No idea. I've never seen plant butter before.
Yeah, we have Lisa saying, I like exploring with food, but really? Watermelon seed butter?
Right.
Don't think so.
I had that thought too. I think it's mixed with sunflower seed oil or something like that.
We have guys still saying 2020 is the year of persimmon.
Persimmon.
And look out for CBD-infused oat milk.
Oh, that's going to put you right to bed.
And then we have Becca saying, if my kid would eat any of that stuff, I would give it to him in a heartbeat. He's 2 and only eats typical kid foods, just like my husband.
Oh, the other kid in your house. Thanks, everyone, for chiming in. That's it for now. This is the 734 from WCCO, when most of the Twin Cities are on the go. So why not make us your place for mobile news? We'll be back here tomorrow at 7:34, promise. Till then, be nice to each other out there on the internet.